And we're off. I'm sorry, I thought this was open. I guess it was standard, my bad. We start with the mushroom in Link's hut.
Now, this is interesting to find it early. With how the last race ended, or how it was decided, rather, I'm wondering if when our runners will pull the trigger on turning it in. So, because of the fake powder glitch. Because if you don't have the mushroom, you can't do it.
And again, there could also be, the hammer or the bow hidden behind the mushroom, so...
Starting off with the bow, and that gives us 30 arrows.
That's a really good start here. That means these runners can go ahead and just run straight to Eastern if they want to. It's not that hard of a dark room. Hopefully they find lamp before Eastern, but, the whole Eastern area is 6 items for grabs, possibly 7 if it's vanilla green.
Yeah, well, both of our runners got very fortuitous getting 4-pack bomb drop to start. Now, in standard, that's important because you're heading through back of escape, and the best way to go about it, having bombs on that first trip. So from here, it's just basically a straight run to the princess.
They have the bow, so things are going to be easy to for the first bit here. We'll see what they decide to do after they get out of here. What rhymes they decide to make.
Both our runners bopping the guard. Only Kyong getting the bomb drop, though, but that's relatively minor at this point.
Ooh, the arrow miss. And only 20 from this chest here.
We already did get the small key, so we could have something in Zelda style. Hopefully, the one thing we don't want to see is the map. Because the map will do absolutely nothing in this map.
Well, the map will just basically tell us there's 3 items in the back of the escape right now.
Four arrows, the ball and chain guard, and we got flippers already!
Yeah, this opens up quite a bit right now in Link to the Past. I mean, we can now check Waterfall Wishing, we can check what's on Zora's Ledge. We don't have the money for Zora yet, so they may wait until they have Dark World access and do Zora with Catfish at the same time.
It's not always guaranteed, because even though it's all dungeons, if Swamp turns out to be a pendant, that Mire could quite literally be anywhere, including in Gan's Tower, and that would squash that play right there. Point being is, always keep your minds open to routing, because things can change at the drop of a hat.
A drop of a rainbow hat?
Well, whatever hat you happen to be wearing. Oh yeah, the front side of Escape was definitely stacked. How about the back half?
Now, these runners have yet to find Lamp, but because we're playing standard, they do get Lamp for this sequence and this sequence only.
It used to be in older versions of the randomizer that you could actually have this particular light cone through all of the light world. That is no longer the case. And it's worth noting, as chat brings this up, with Uncle being a weapon, bow, hammer, fire rod, bombs, and both canes were both an option. Ice rod wouldn't do anything, unfortunately.
Now we get to see there's going to be 2 items back here because there's the map. We got a piece of heart and 10 arrows. So the end of the escape was not so high, but now these runners do have enough bombs to clear out all the stuff in Kakariko once they get over there.
Well, if anything, the arrows were a plus for NinTaylor because it did give him an ammo refill. And just some couch cash at the end.
So more likely with how Ryan will go, these runners will now go see. Oh, we get. I see a 7 crystal on Tower Hera, and the other 2 were just regular crystals.
Yep, 1 at Desert and 2 at Eastern.
Now these runners are going to check Lumberjack, followed by the 2 items in Lost Woods, and then all of their Kakariko checks.
Got a tree pull and its arrows, which is actually going to help NinTaylor get to maximum.
And today's Aga 1 prize is going to be a piece of heart. I don't see these runners going back for that prize.
No, not in this particular flag set. Now, if you had maybe gone into Expert where you have such an extreme limited amount of health, then I could see a remote, emphasis on remote possibility of that happening as we got a box dropped in the woods. That'll help for Ice Palace because there are tiles on the floor in Swordless that are marked with the Bombos medallion, which allow for that medallion's use in that dungeon.
Man, the Lost Woods is the bomb today. Bombos and bombs inside the Thieves' Hut.
I see what you did there.
Oh, we're only at minute 7 into this 2-hour run.
It looks like the next level tree pull is a magic refill.
So we're going to go into Blind's hideout. Let's see the 5 items we got in here today. Single arrow, piece of heart, 50 roops, and another piece of heart.
That 50 rupee pickup is good for Keon because that gives him his bottle vendor money.
Man, Blind had a lot of love. 3/4 of a love, in fact. Now these runners, NinTaylor is going to be about 5 seconds behind Keon until it gets around to deciding which dungeons they want to do in what order. The well today has 10 arrows.
There's a book.
Nice. We need a fire source and or possibly the booze, and we may be able to clear out desert. Oh, a lot of people threw their money into that well this time around.
Yep, as well as reading material that was unwanted.
And that's a black market dealer right there selling you full heart. Still being.
Mm-hmm.
Chicken Hut today has more bombs.
Not terrible, but not a bottle, so unless we find one at the back of the bar, we're not going to be able to check Sick Kid this time around.
Nah, just the bar's tip money we just stole from him.
Not very well on the tips. Must have been a very slow night.
No, I mean, there's only, what, 5 people that live in that town? And only, like, 3 are adults?
That's fair. I'm pretty sure most of them probably fled. Just saying.
Racing game is another piece of heart. Wow, there's just a whole bunch of heart and money right now. That just tells me once we get into the dungeons, it's going to be very loaded.
Right, but with it being all dungeons, the real question is which dungeons are going to be loaded and which ones are not going to be all that interesting.
Looks like we're going... Oh, we got the mushroom. I guess Keon K. I'm just going to call him K. He's going to go ahead and turn into mushroom now. We'll see if he hard resets if it's a piece of heart.
Well, considering how last race went, I would not be surprised if he did just that.
Oh,
he's not resetting for that.
That's some gloves right now. That's big. That's
a
really
power
big.
glove. That's something you're holding on to.
Ah, man, the power glove. It's so bad.
I've seen the actual power glove in action. It really is.
I'm surprised they haven't tried, like, as an April Fool's joke, releasing that. Ooh, Bile! So Sick Kid may get a revisit soon.
Possibly, but for now, we've got a mini Moldorm cave planned. That was a close one. Keon basically had a face full of mini Moldorm as soon as he fired that arrow. Whoever that ruby.
Oh, mitts! We got full lift. We got another bile. I call that a 8 out of 10 hype Moldrum cave. We got money. We got now Nin got his power glove that time around. That's big. That's big.
Yep. As soon as he turns that mushroom in, he'll have Titan's mitts.
He may not turn that mushroom in for a while until he needs to actually open up the dungeons required for it. It may be his last check he does.
Yep, indeed, that was a sword 20 at the end of that. The swords have been changed over in swordless to big 20s. That's how swordless logic works.
Alright, Keon is actually $10 away, and well, 1 hit away from death, but $10 away from being able to do the whole Zora check. NinTaylor is also in danger right now. They get another piece of heart for the trouble, which they want all the pieces. They want the not piece of heart, full heart containers. They want as many heart containers as they can. When your primary weapon later on is going to be the hammer, you tend to take a lot of contact damage. It looks like Keon decided he is going to do the Zora play.
Yep, at this point, you might as well check this entire corner of the map out.
Maybe NinTaylor will check his mushroom there as well.
That would be pretty efficient. But we get an island check here within seconds of each other, pizza party. So Hobo got now.
This is another piece of art. We're finding all kinds of pieces of parts today. There's only 20 in the seeds, so I mean, eventually we're going to stop finding pieces of parts in big 20s and start finding actual items.
Yep, and we might find him soon enough, as soon as we hit the waterfall ferry, which is going to be within these next few seconds, I believe.
Moon Pearl!
That is Dark World access for Kyong, and it will be for SuperNinTaylor as soon as he turns that Mushroom in.
Yeah, we can now go to the Villas of Outcasts and Skull Woods and Ice Palace right now with that Dark World access. SuperNinTaylor did not go to the cheapo. He's going to need to try and get one roop somewhere around here.
Needs it from a drop. There we go. And King's Sword today, what's the scam? Actually,
catching that.
Not a scam in Swordless, as the bug net is extremely useful at deflecting Aghahnim's magic attacks.
Isn't it the only way to deflect Agahnem's magic attack in Swordless?
It is one of two, the other one being the hammer. Now, we could have a setup for where hammer could be, well, let's just say it's possible, however unlikely, that the bug net could be required to access the hammer if East Dark World isn't accessible. But it should be. I mean, at this point, the only way it's not is if we have a setup for where hammer finds its way to Pyramid Ferry, which is pretty much the only way Agahnim would be required earlier at this point.
Alright, Shirashula's closet has our third bottle on the red boomerang. Now, SuperNinTaylor, is he going to turn the mushroom now?
It's looking like it. Question is, once he does so, will he head straight for Dark World, or is he heading to Eastern?
As I said, Eastern is a very easy dungeon to do. As you saw, there was 3 items in Shirashula, and then there's 3 items in the dungeon itself. And SuperNinTaylor gets his mitts, and we're going to go ahead and see what's the first item is in Eastern here in about a minute.
Yep, one of the cannonballs.
Now that's one of our 3 items.
And SuperNinTaylor's not too far behind, coming into Eastern. Looks like we're not getting green pendant information by talking to Sahasrahla at this point in time. That's a different way of doing that room with the bow. Typically, you want to go up, grab the pot, make that 360 turn over the bones, as we find out the 10th enemy has the bomb.
Alright, so the rest of this dungeon is actually lamp locked, so everything we do now will be out of logic. But these dark rooms are very easy to do.
And Kyong's through.
So we get the vanilla big key, which will lead us to the big key chest, which may be an item, and if it's an item, then Armos is just good for the crystal. If it's not, we're going to go see Armos. Have you played the festive mode yet?
Actually, I haven't had a chance to. Been busy with a few other things. That's just bombs in the big chest.
Yeah, so Armos is just good for the crystal, which, Kay is going to go ahead and do. In the festive mode, these are giant Christmas trees we're about ready to run into.
Yep. What you saw Keon do there is he found the Igor by hitting it with an arrow and then used that as a visual cue for a timing standpoint. Uh-oh. Gotta be careful here.
Going to go ahead and use the fairies here.
Also, catching one for later, I like that play. If you're in normal, might as well.
Looks like Kay's having problems with the Igor room.
He's out of it. Nicely done clearing those rooms out with the bow on Keon's side. And now for the Armos.
Yeah, these are Christmas trees in the festive mode. And he is going for the quick kill here. He shoots one Armos with 2 arrows. And so whenever it's his turn to go, it's just a quick kill before he gets all of his health back.
Yep, and speaking of getting all his health back, Keon's about to do just that.
SuperNinTaylor did get through that dark room a little bit faster than Kay, so he is going to be gaining a little bit. Kaons has yet to do the dam area, though, so...
Don't ask me how SuperNinTaylor managed to basically shoot that arrow perfectly between all of those enemies. That was like kicking a field goal.
Well, you don't get any points for doing that. So, Kaon is going to be checking out an area that SuperNinTaylor has already checked out. And now they're both going to be on 3 balls apiece. SuperNinTaylor isn't going to be getting the quick kill here, but it's still a quick kill.
Yep, and now both runners up to 3 bottles. Keong is making our first trek into the desert area, and SuperNinTaylor appears to be making its way over to the Kakariko Village Dark World portal. Checking a Gina cave.
And Gina just has more money.
And
oh, we're getting sick kid, yeah.
Yep. I like this play. Get the sick kid out the way, then go to Village of Outcast, but it's just couch cash.
I think that's probably the 12th or 13th we've seen so far this seed.
Yeah, that's like coming up on halfway for that. Oh, we got the boots in the desert. And NinTaylor is heading right for Dark World. That could be a huge break for Kyong.
All right, green pendant at Thieves Town, red at Swamp, blue at Pod. Their other 5-6 crystal today is or 5-6 was at Turlock. I didn't see the other one.
Misery Mire.
Mire.
I wouldn't necessarily call it game over just yet because we got a long ways to go. Magic Cape for Kyong. Could have something over at Bumper Cave, but the jury's out on that one. So now Kyong's gonna have to go out, get those boots, and dip back in to get whatever's up the big key off the torch.
Which I'm sure he's not too concerned by doing that. We still don't have a fire source, though, so we won't be able to beat this dungeon yet.
Yeah, safe to say that's a relatively minor setback compared to what could be required double or triple dips of dungeons that can happen with this randomizer, although anything beyond a double is quite rare.
We are going to play the digging game here. So 1 in 30 digs. It's randomized when the actual prize gets thrown out. Looks like this is going to be a long digging game for these players today.
So it looks like K45 is just going to be cash today. And all those digs for 3 bombs. What a ripoff.
Small shield in the big chest.
So unfortunately, Kyong will not be able to finish Desert Palace off, but he does have access to both King's Tomb and Bonk Rocks at this point. Hey, that was a full 30 digs just for bombs. Yeah, that's never worth it. Got ourselves a blacksmith tour going on. And 1 rupee in the tomb must have been a very valuable rupee to have wound up there.
A sword enhancement at Stumpy.
Cash at Bonk Rocks, so nothing required there.
Hot cave time! Alright, there has to be something here. We first start out with more big 20s. Alright, let's see. Number 2, heart. 3, bombs. What is this seed in these big 20s? Disappointment cave. I can never feel hype ever again. There is no more hype in me.
Yeah, that was about as big of a bust as that. That was a bust cave more than anything else. It was a bust.
I don't think there can be any more big 20s though. I think we've seen all the big 20s.
Well, Kyong's heading off for Skull Woods, and this is an okay play because you can get items in the front, maybe a fire source. This play was really popular in an earlier version of the randomizer where the odds of something being here right away at the point of Dark World access was like some like mid-50s number. Well, heart container's one item. Blacksmith, on the other hand, is a piece of heart. You know, if all those pieces of hearts and heart containers were items, we'd probably be in go mode right now. One more check that Kyong can make in Skull Woods at this time.
We got the Gibdo wanted to give a hug.
And Skull Woods at this point in time is a bus. So Kyong's just going to take the elevator out of here. I think we're about to find out what's at Bumper Cave. Just bombs. Safe to say that cave pickup bombed.
So, yeah, we're kind of just waiting till we find some sort of progression right now.
Yep, and the Sea House, well, didn't have anything, unfortunately. Oh gosh, progression were on purple chest and it was required to get the mirror. That would just be evil.
Looks like Kaon is going to go ahead and go into Thieves Town. Can grab most of the items in here. He's going to hope that lamp. We got ourselves a lamp. That means desert can now be completed. That also means West Death Mountain, the Light World, is now able to be looked at.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's only for a handful of checks, as they don't have a means for getting over to West Death Mountain.
East.
Yeah, brain farts happen.
Looks like Kaon is... Yeah, Death Orb being set up right now. Oh no, a thief got in!
And here comes SuperNinTaylor into Thieves Town.
Now maybe the lamp will have him go to desert and then he'll get himself some new shoes.
Possibly, but at the same time, Kyong's piecing out because he lacks the means of damaging blind at this point. The two in mind would be the hammer and the can of Samari.
Or Burna. I'm sure that we have with Burna as well.
Yeah, Burna would work, but without having magic, the timing for actually getting the 3 hits in is ridiculously tight.
Now, does Nin take a death warp, or does he try and get the other items in this dungeon? Looks like he's going to go deeper.
Yep, he's pushing it.
Plus, we do get another hint up here. What's the hint? Could give Nin a mini advantage.
That hint also takes about 10 seconds to get to because you have to go back downstairs, hit the switch, and go back up. So it's actually a bit longer to pull off. Are you going for it? And the biggest hit in the game, or one of them, unique item held by a friendly.
Well, he has Lamp, which might make him go to Old Man. This is also Thieves Town, so this means Shurhashula will be checkable after this as well.
Just needs a means of damaging blind. Now, Blind's chest could have that item that we need. And the problem is, if it doesn't, then all you can do is take Blind upstairs and save him quite out of the dungeon. Kyong having some trouble with the bomber enemies.
Is Keon checking Pyramid, then going to Grumpy Fish? That might be the play right now. We didn't see what was on Pyramid or at the Catfish. But Keon has to be careful right now. Ice Rod! We don't have a weapon. It doesn't damage Blind, but we have a weapon now to damage Lamos. In fact, the Ice Rod was the intended way to damage Lamos.
That's one possible way. The bow is another. I like the ice rod here because that's gonna make that's a hook shot. That is a hook shot. We now have access to East and Dark Death Mountain. And the pun is about flint and steel, and instead of a save and quit, SuperNinTaylor's just gonna take the death.
Yeah, no, I mean, it works. Now, SuperNinTaylor now has options. He now knows he can now go to desert. He doesn't know the boots are there yet.
He's grabbing purple chests like you mentioned. This could be something.
Yeah, no, so he's going to take that purple chest to do his Agahnim and desert checks, and he's going to be rewarded the boots.
And the ice rod will be a really nice item for the Landmola fight.
Yeah, 2 hits per... Oh, there's another big 20!
The ice rod does the same damage as the fire rod, but the rate of fire for the ice rod is slower, so it is an adjustment that runners will have to make. The hook shot was at the pyramid.
Yeah, so the hook shot isn't as big, but right now, not that big. Because with the boots and the fire source, SuperNinTaylor will be able to complete desert, and he's probably going to climb Death Mountain if I were to take a guess next.
That's certainly in play for Kyong. In fact, I think that might be his next move.
Now Kyong can also get Aga 1 out of the way if he wanted to. Just get out of the way just so he has another source to East Dark World. Because he has the cape.
that would be the requirement to get into Agahnim in Swordless is that cave. So he could do it at any time of his choosing, but he'd have to be careful with how he uses his bombs and arrows for the required enemies.
Yeah, and then Taylor sees his boots. He knows he can now fully complete this dungeon. I'm sure he's going to go ahead and do so. Now, is the unique item held by Old Man? We're going to find out right about now. And it's our last bottle.
I wouldn't necessarily call that unique, but the hook shot is going to enable him to do something else called an item dash.
I thought it was called super speed. Item dash is when you do like an IM and dashing at the same time, and you're using IM while dashing.
Well, it is super speed, yes, but it's triggered by using an item instead of a spin, as the Taylor gets the kick. It's a piece of heart at the hint tile. It's a hint tile you can't access with... Wow, that's old news, game. That, too, as chat pointed out, is... Item dashing is not a thing in Swordless, as if you try to hammer dash, you'll just look silly because you'll fall.
Yeah, so yeah, what Kaon is doing is super speed. Basically, it gives him the speed of Pegasus boots, but without actually using the Pegasus boots, where you can only go one direction with Pegasus boots. It's a neat little glitch.
Yeah, one of my personal favorite movement tricks to do in Japanese 1.0, and unfortunately they did patch that out of the North American release.
Well, we can say this is a very healthy seed, at least.
No doubt about that.
Paradox Cave with a whole lot of love.
Yep, that is right. Spectacle Rock is where the home of Lord Banana for this seed. Yeah, a lot of these caves seem to have health. It's kind of like a theme for this seed.
No, we won't be seeing the other peak. And then Taylor is going to go ahead and kill those worms.
Well, you gotta get this one out of the way at some point, so you might as well get it out of the way right now. And we do know the boss is holding on to something, so...
No, he's not. He's not holding on to anything.
Oh, okay. I must have missed
Shield and cape. Shield and capes are the items in Desert. And Desert only has 2 items.
So knowing that, even so, the boss still has to go down.
Yeah, this is all dungeons, so we will see Agahnim. We will see all the pendants be cleared. We may even see a blind ped pull.
Yeah, speaking of my second to last race and group stage, we both wound up doing a blind ped pull because we had 3 pendants, and I don't know about my opponent, but when I got through Skull Woods, I just mirrored and went for it. It was a mushroom that turned into arrows, though, so from exciting to not so exciting.
Hammer in Super Bunny Cave. That's big. That's basically our main source of damage for the rest of this run for Kaon's side. This also opens up a lot. Actually, we can find out what's going on with Turtle Rock right now.
Yeah, the only thing is we would need the mirror to get up there from here. without having to. Ooh, half magic. That is welcome to find any day of the week. And a blue mail.
Yeah, we finally hit the point where we're finding all of our items. We have no more rid 20s or pieces of heart to find. We got it quick as well.
Now, outside of opening dungeons, Bombos is the only medallion that has any real practical use. That's Ether to get into Turtle Rock, unfortunately. So, Kyong would have to come back later. But yeah, the Hookshot Cave was definitely hype, no doubt about that.
Looks like we're also going to go ahead and see what Hera has for us today.
Well, now that Kyong has the hammer, Moldorm is beatable. Because the hammer is the only item that damages Moldorm outside of a sword.
We're also probably going to see what's on the Ether tablet as well.
That's right, the hammer does allow us to check that location. Piece of heart. And that fills another container. So Kyong's up to 14 heart containers. That's a pretty good number.
Yeah, with the blue mail, we're basically talking 28 heart containers right now, really.
There's our big key. I know we're in Swordless, and I know we get a lot of use out of the hammer, but for the NMG categories, when optimizing Hera, old news game, we'll see a lot of boomerang usage in a couple of spots here for hitting switches. Nicely done with the beetles.
Yeah, the hammer is the same damage as a tempered sword. So this is going to be our primary weapon for most of these upcoming areas. Ooh, Graveyard Ledge has the flute.
That means we are absolutely going to need the mirror in order to get that. So that means the mirror, going off of how the logic works, and Mire being a crystal, we will have the mirror before Ganon's tower.
And no Trolldorm today.
Trolldorm.
That was a 1, 2, 3, and you're out. You know, I'm getting sick of those big 20s. We have seen so many of those already.
Just one thing worth mentioning for chat. The mirror cannot be on pedestal, as Swamp House is a pendant. If that were the case, this seed would be unwinnable, and we cannot have that.
And the mirror can also be in Ganon's tower if, with this situation we're at right now, mirror could be in Ganon's tower, but we now know it's not. Yeah, Ganon's tower may not be our final dungeon. We may have to dip into Ganon's tower to, find. There's nothing maybe ether. Maybe we need ether for Turtle Rock. I don't know. There could be something in. Yeah, I think we found everything right now, but occasionally we would sometimes need to go into Ganon's tower to find one item.
So that rock outside the circle of stones and the catfish was still tripped? Huh.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude.
That's a new one for me. Learn something new every day.
Everyone
No,
out-
shot is actually on the pyramid.
Everyone out there playing some basketball, and then Taylor here playing some horseshoes.
Well, I get what you mean there, because close does count in horseshoes, and I guess that's how that logically works out. But anyway,
Ooh,
Keon's
Keon.
heading back into Thieves' Town.
Yeah, Keon's going to go ahead, get his ice rod, be able to hammer down blind. Blue mail, all these hearts. These runners can normally do blind with 5 hearts and green mail, so this should not be that difficult.
And when Taylor getting the hook shot, one would believe that he's heading for East Death Mountain and Dark Death Mountain.
Yeah, so... And Nintaylor can also do Hera now as well. So even though it looks like Keon has a bit of advantage, Nintaylor is going to be able to be able to get a lead in dungeons here soon. No, actually tie up. He'll have all 3 Light Warp dungeons, and Keon will have Eastern Hera and Thieves' Town.
So with that, Keon would be the first runner to be able to check Sahasrara. That could be the unique item.
Now, right now, once Nin does this, he could decide to just go on a spelunking spree, just go through every single dungeon he can. I mean, he can full clear pod. Both of these runners can full clear pod and all this stuff. Keon may try and save desert for when he does Mire, though.
That's a good point, because at this point, he'd really just be going back for the crystal at this point, nothing further, so nobody would blame him for that.
And we may not get a ped check until one of these runners have a fire rod.
Here's Keong's blind fight.
So, phase 1 down. That's 2. And that's easy.
Dunzo. Meanwhile, SuperNinTaylor's about to come up on his hammer.
I see Nintaylor clearing Hera next. Ooh, Keon's going to go ahead and do hammer pegs and the purple chest at the same time.
When Nintaylor came through here earlier, he did not have the hammer, so he could not do this check. If this is something big, then that's a big advantage for Keon.
Red mail, passing up. They have enough health.
And Taylor weighing his options for a moment. Thinking about it. And he's just gonna keep going.
He doesn't have a way... Oh, he's going to Spike Cave. Maybe?
He's trying to draw the fire of the Lionels to be out of the way and using hookshot iframe strats. But no luck on the health.
Yeah, looks like we're going to see some cape strats here.
Mixing in some hookshot as well.
And we're going to see what Sarashula has today. Well, both runners find another piece of heart at the exact same time.
Yep, one for Green Pendant, the other for Spectate.
So, Keon is going to do pod, it looks like. Now, where is Ning going? Is he taking pod this way?
He might be. I'm not sure.
He can't do swamp. Yeah, oh, Bombos! No way, he can't even do Bombos. What's he doing?
I'm not entirely sure at the moment. Wait, you can still get the hint at the start of Swamp House. It looks like he is shopping for some information. Bit of a gamble here, because if it's a community hint, you look silly.
Some bombs in Mimic Cave. So that's going to be a decent hit. That's going to save him about 30 seconds through to a rock if he's already not in go mode.
Unfortunately, Keon got bopped by an enemy, lost to Kiki, had to go back for him. Chat does bring up a point, and SuperNinTaylor did omit going into Tower of Hera. That dungeon can still be done before going into Ganon's Tower. Same with Turtle Rock.
There are more items here, though. There is 5 items in Palace of Darkness and a whole bunch of keys to get to those items.
Yep, one way of looking at this dungeon, as I once heard somebody say, like a mall. Business in the front. Oh, hey, there's the medallion. And in the back, it's a party.
It's a pie. Unique items in Ganon's Tower with the other 19 items in Ganon's Tower.
Knowing what we know about this seed, I would not be surprised at all if that unique item were the silver arrows.
It could be. We know it can't be Fire Rod, because Turtle Rock and Skull Woods is a crystal. Can't be Can of Samara. Could be Can of Burna. It could be the Mire. No, because we need the flute from Mire. Yeah, we've already talked about that. Could be the powder.
Yeah, and the powder could also be blocking the silvers. Now, wouldn't that be evil? I say it like that because you had to turn the mushroom in order to get the hammer. We're we're getting a hammer yump from Kyong. Now, for those not in the know, this is a bomb placement and character placement in a frame-perfect spot. So it's a double frame-perfect trick that Kyong hits first try.
And he gets all of his bombs back. Oh my goodness! With these hearts right now.
At this point, I say to heck with it. Let's go for 20. Misspoke I did. I meant to say pixel perfect, and, well, sometimes terminology does get mixed up from time to time.
There's
and
the
there's
cane.
The cane of Samaria.
It's gotta be the
dark
cane.
Basement.
So
Taylor's setting up for his hammer yump.
So that means we could check the first item now in Turtle Rock.
At this point, that might as well be worth it. And that could play out in some interesting ways, because as long as your keys keep coming along that route, you could, in theory, get to Laser Bridge without having checked the items that require the Fire Rod. Now, if that first chest is the Fire Rod, you're not only good to proceed into the dungeon, you're good to take out Trinex.
And then Taylor's about ready to get his cane.
In this dungeon, no, it cannot, due to how the key logic for Palace of Darkness works.
Yeah. Well, I think it's key lock in general. No keys can be fire locked or lamp locked, if I remember right. The game, whenever they load the keys or load the logic, loads keys first, and they make sure none of them are lamp locked, if I remember right.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And Kyong did miss the red mail. He turned around and did not pick it up. "17 hits with hammer. Without a sword, you're not able to really keep your facing per hammer hit like you would otherwise, so you gotta be careful. Speaking of being careful, Bulbasaur King moves much faster in Phase 2, but it is no problem for Kyong, as down goes the king. Just bombs, but a pendant.
So that's 2 pendants.
And 4 bosses.
So what's the next play?
Not sure. As SuperNinTaylor, we shall see. As SuperNinTaylor cleans up the turtle party.
Are we going to Ice Palace now?
You have Bombos, so... Oh, Red Potion. I like this play. This could be an Ice Palace setup. I mean, I don't see why not, because you can finish the dungeon. It's just that it's a bit tougher to fight Cold Stare without the Fire Rod.
Now, in swordless mode, you normally can't use the medallions, but there are special squares in dungeons, like in this face room. Look at this face room. See, it's like the bombos of the nose. Anyway.
Actually, the way they put that tile, it really does look like a nose.
You will never unsee it now. I'm sorry.
I don't think anybody will, to be fair. Now, for the pen gators, while we can't use the Quake Medallion and Sword this, we can use a hook shot and take them out in one hit each. Yeah, that hint we saw on Kyong's side might be the hint for Lord Banana, but it could also be for something else. We just don't know because of how vague the hint is.
No, there's only so many items that are in plain sight. That could also be hookshot.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's really one of those hints that could have two meanings.
We're going for all the rib potions. Or buying a heart. I don't think I've ever seen anyone ever buy a heart. Ever.
Now, Kyong's gonna have to hit the switch in this room if he's gonna attempt the bomb jump. Didn't quite place the bomb correctly in the room where he fell. I thought he was about to hover it. First try. Nicely done with a pen gator bowling. Didn't use bombs, but still cleaned them up nice. And that early small key does allow for checking this part of the dungeon without having to go down and around. There's the big key.
Oh, there's our third sword upgrade.
Yeah, that would have been the tempered sword, but swordless.
Fire
There's
rod!
our fire rod. It was here all along. So that trip up to Hera would have been no good. Rather, Turtle Rock.
Well, now Turtle Rock's fully completable.
And Kyong just cleans the room out with the fire rod instead of using bombos. At this point, the only thing that could be on pedestal worth any value would be the silver arrows, because as it's been mentioned before, the Mire can't be there due to Swamp being a pendant, and we know that the Mire is blocking the flute as it is above the graveyard. Nice little block clip there to get to the big chest. It is a small key, so Kyong is going to be the first of our runners to go after Cold Stare.
Yeah, right now Keon does have a decent lead. It's going to be close though. Any mistakes will change what's going on here, but it looks like the rest of the seed is going to basically rot itself.
That's one possibility. Another thing that could change things is that, well, to be honest, this is the one boss you do not want to die to, because it is just such a long trek to get back down here, And before I can even finish that thought, Kyong has Cold Stare finished off like it's no problem at all.
Well, they do have virtually 32 hearts right now. With the blue male, with 16 hearts.
Well, even so,
I see accidental falling to Ganon being the thing that slips these runners up right now. Oh, we're going to Turtle Rock. Turtle Rock has 4 items, and it's fully completable. 5? I thought it was 4.
It's 5 items inside the dungeon. Can't access Mimic Cave, but that's the 6th. Technically, I mean, that's... Personally, technically, it's part of Light World, but you can only get to that through Turtle Rock, so some consider it a part of it, others not so much. Yeah, Mimic was definitely nothing, so we don't have to worry about that. So SuperNinTaylor reaches Cold Stare. Kyong's about to enter Turtle Rock, which we know is Ether. And Taylor downs him nicely. And to that I say old news game. My thoughts are, because the stuff for Turtle Rock is already available to us, that the Mire is here in Turtle Rock. And then that sets up nicely to go get the flute. And that just leaves one question. Where are those silvers?
The Mire could also be in Skull Woods. That'd be nice. You kill Mothra, a giant Mire falls from the sky. Then you get to check Ped.
That would work out well, and Taylor's going for Skull Woods right now, and I can't blame him. This could be the play that decides the race right here. Who finds what in what dungeon?
Yeah, no, I mean, if SuperNinTaylor routes this correctly, his last 3 dungeons could easily be Turtle Rock, 2 Tower of Hera, 2 Ganon's Tower. 3 dungeons with no rest time between them because they're right next to each other.
Yeah, but it's not something you see very often in a randomizer seed where a runner has a chance to go back to back to back like that. But in this case, it could work out, and because it's all dungeons, it could be 5 dungeons in a row if you... Well, hey, there's the Mire!
Well, there's that.
So that routing is not going to work out for SuperNinTaylor, unfortunately for him. Kyong, on the other hand, having the Mire, will be able to retrieve the flute. It's now a question of where the silver arrows are. That is the only thing keeping us out of a go mode.
Yeah, Keon does have a bit of a commanding lead now. Just better routing choices this time around.
Yeah, the routing choices have just fallen in his favor for this one. Doesn't always work out like that in Randomizer. But, I'm just going to call it go mode right now because Kyong has found the silver arrows at the Turtle Rock Big Chest location.
So that's 1 hour, 14 minutes, and 39 seconds. We are in no/go/ this race is going to be over here soon mode.
Yeah, only thing left to do is finish off the dungeons, although I will say this much, it is always so nice to go mode Swamp Palace, and we have that today.
No, I mean, you know, you can also count Go Mode Mire. If we find the best big key placement in Mire.
Yep, that's the only other factor. I don't believe we got a Mire hint as of yet, and I don't expect Kyong to check any more hint tiles.
And then Taylor will go ahead and clear out Thieves Town, but we know where he needs to be going.
Yep, the hints of the items said go to Turtle Rock, and, well, unfortunately for SuperNinTaylor, I mean, I understand why he didn't go that way. He probably felt like he was behind, so he had to make a gamble on it. But unfortunately, the gamble didn't pan out.
Did SuperNinTaylor miss a chest somewhere?
Yeah, I think he opted for the big chest before the one in the back. I would have done the one in the back first.
Yeah, no, he just lost a couple minutes there. Keon is looking at more iron. Oh, he's looking for that key.
Yeah, that was the only thing he was looking for, because he knows where he has to go after this, and where he has to go is likely going to be his very next stop.
No, he still has a clear Thieves Town, so he's probably going to clear Thieves Town while he's here and check Shrashla.
Nah, I don't think Kyong's doing that. Well, what Kyong's going to do is he's going to go for Graveyard Ledge, activate...
Oh, no, I thought you were talking about SuperNinTaylor, my bad. I thought you were talking about Nin, my bad.
Yeah, it's all good. Kyong has a really... Oh, I thought he had something there, but he fired that Ice Rod shot a little too early. That's going to cost him some time here.
Yeah, Keon doing this strat I used to do whenever I was like 10 to this boss, because I thought that was the only way you damaged these heads.
Well, that's how I thought it was too, but then I learned otherwise and decided, okay, we don't have to do that.
And that's the
dead
try
hammer
next.
and try next.
Yeah, more than likely Keon's going to go Graveyard Ledge, get the flute, do Mire, do Desert, and then somehow try and link Swamp House to Skull Woods together.
Those dungeons are far enough apart where doing those back-to-back's a bit more of a chore in terms of walking. It's more or less mirroring and then using flute. Folks, it ain't over until the dot duns are recorded in IRC. A lot can happen.
And more than likely, yeah, Keon's going to do Mire, then Desert, then probably Swamp, just run from desert over to, or saving quit over to Link's house to Skullwoods. His Skullwoods and Swamp is going to be a little awkward to route together. But we'll do Ganon's Tower, then Agahnim, then Ganon.
Yep, Kyong's definitely on his way to activate the flute.
NinTaylor just does not know what to do now.
No, I think what happened is he might have had a missed input, because I've had that happen on the start screen before, where I want to start at one location, and it starts me at a completely different one because of either a missed or eaten input. And Kyong's gonna go right from here to Skullwoods. This is some very creative routing, so it looks like his Go Mode dungeons are gonna start with this one that was seemingly out of the way, but it's gonna work out pretty well.
Well, he knows there's some cache here, so... And he gets to check Ether Tap at the same time. So it looks like Keon's going to route Skull to Flute to Mire to Desert.
Meanwhile, in Taylor's and Hera, and reading the hits will tell him what we know about this seed. Well, not that hint, because that hint's old news.
And Keon's going to do his blind fight. Not blind, Mothra. It's been a long week, and I'm all excited about Christmas. Are you excited about Christmas?
Yeah, same here. But then again, I was watching earlier Randomizer Seed where there was a blind in this room. So, yeah. It's all good. Keon drops the hammer on Mothula. There's the flute note that NinTaylor needs.
And he found the cache in that chest.
Unfortunately for NinTaylor, the hookshot does not do any damage to Dodongos.
Those are Kodongos.
That's in the Dark World.
I thought it was still Kodongos because they breathe fire.
Gotta go to Turtle Rock for the mirror this time. Silver arrows are there too. And Taylor getting bounced around by Moldorm does not get knocked off and takes the boss down, and we're about to have ourselves some roast bird, as Bombos is needed to enter Misery Mire.
So yeah, Bombos was actually one of the first items we found this scene. So we're hoping for our God Mode Mire. We're looking for a big key and a small key really early on in here.
Yep, basically what we look for in a Ganon's Tower, but a much smaller dungeon with not nearly as many chests to check. Then Taylor opens up Mire. We've got Keon going for the God pattern. Is it here? Not today, just a small key. Nope, not there. So are we fire locked, or is it in the non-fire locked chest? And Taylor almost missed that hint, but it's old news. While we have it, it's worth mentioning that both of our runners are using custom-made sprites that were made by members of the Link to the Past random community. Those folks put a lot of work into those sprites and did a fantastic job with each of them.
Oh man, I really do hope. I'm mainly a combo commentator. I am hoping that some of these talented people start putting to work for the combo randomizer. Because I love to see what they can do to the Samus sprite.
You know, that would be really interesting to see.
Oh no, this big key is going to be fire locked.
Now, some folks will opt to check the fire locked side first. Other folks will opt to check the non-fire locked side first unless they get a hint. Now, you can get a hint in this version of the logic that will say that. Oh, and speaking of the combo randomizer, I personally would love to see the hits from this game make their way over. I'd like to see what they could do with adding Super Metroid hints to that.
I think one of my races we commentated, we made a joke about having the Edicoons interpret dance a hint.
That would be interesting to see. As SuperNinTaylor now has the Mire, and if he continues along this path to the vanilla big key chest, he will have his silvers and enter Go mode.
About 13 minutes behind. And honestly, after Keon does Desert, he'll be 10 minutes behind.
Now, the one advantage Taylor does have here is he only would have 2 dungeons left to deal with. Misery Mire and Swamp, and in terms of...
they both have to do Agate 1 as well.
Well, that too, but in terms of routing order, Taylor could do Swamp first and then flute over to Mire, as Taylor has the silvers and enters Go mode.
I mean, Keon can still make a mistake here. Like, any mistake can cut that 10-minute lead down.
Yep, there's a reason we say it's never over until the duns are in. Ooh, we've got some spooky action strats on Keon's side. Man, this is a strat that I need to pick up for myself.
Ah, that's some spooky. Oh, did he just do it again?
Yes, he did. That's the full spooky action strat.
Oh, I've never seen the double spooky action. I am spooked right now.
Meanwhile, don't blink about the Vitreous fight. The silvers make it trivial.
Don't blink because Vitreous can't. He doesn't have eyelids.
Yep. Nice move by Taylor to get that Kana Samaria block in position. Silvers were Turtle Rock, Big Key Chest.
So yeah, Keon is going to finish up Desert, then he'll have one dungeon left. NinTaylor will... He'll probably be finishing Trinex by the time Keon gets to Swamp. So he is one full dungeon behind.
This will be an easier fight for Keon because he has the silvers, which take out the landmos in one hit, and the fire rod also does 2 hits of damage, rather, for the landmos, but it's a much faster weapon to use. Well, that's one way to cut down on your Trinex menuing time.
So yeah, Keon is now 3 dungeons away from done.
And Taylor with a cleaner Trinex fight, though.
Now, mistakes can still happen. Argus is not the easiest boss in Swordless.
Yep, in Swordless, and when you have Fighter Sword and other logics, well, unfortunately, you're having to do a lot of menuing. A lot.
So NinTaylor's going to be picking up his flute now.
To answer that question in chat, yes, you need all 7 crystals to get to Ganon's Tower, but this being all dungeons logic, you have to clear every single dungeon, including Castle Tower.
Now, in some other all dungeon seeds, you know, let's say if Turrock and Skull Woods were Pendant dungeons, then it's likely that the Fire Rod is in Ganon's Tower. So sometimes Ganon's Tower is not the last dungeon you do.
And I had a seed like that too. It felt dirty. And there's the flute, so that's go mode for NinTaylor. Yeah, that's also true in an old dungeon key sanity, which, yeah, those are not very fun. I'm not going to say too much about that. As Kyong is closing in on the Argus fight, NinTaylor is about to fly. He's flying over to Mire first.
Yeah, so now we're going to see how far behind NinTaylor really is. So Keon is going to be in the Argus fight, and NinTaylor is going to be opening up Mire. So that's 2 dungeons. That's a 2 dungeon lead right now.
And with 2 dungeons to go. Taylor can make up some time here if you were to go for the Firelock side first.
Yeah, but regardless, this is still Keon's game to lose. So, by the way, in the festive mode, Argus is a giant Christmas ornament.
Yeah, I saw that earlier on someone else's stream. Looked kind of derpy.
It's amazing. Do not bash Argnorminence.
That was a good shot by Keon. And with that pickup, there's only one place left for Keon to go. So, folks, you know what time it is.
Let's wait till he goes to Death Mountain before we start the game. He made you Agahnim 1 first.
Nope, he's going up. So with that, I do my best Lenny when I say it's time to play the game. Hey, wait for us to start it, folks.
Anyway, we gotta get through Ganon's Tower. To get through Ganon's Tower, we have to find ourselves a big key. There are 22 locations this big key can be in. If you're a subscriber to Speed Gaming or have donated 250 bits recently, you could be put onto our leaderboard, where Leslie Pro will do all of his best impersonations for your next birthday party if you're on our leaderboard. It's true. He signed the contract.
Except when my voice is shot like it was earlier this month. And Taylor, well, this is unusual. He goes for one of the Firelock checks and doesn't do the other? That is a most unusual play.
And we will stop the game when he gets into the dungeon.
And Taylor went to every location but the vanilla one. Last chance, folks. Taylor's about to get his Mire big key. First chest, no rupee hoard. Second chest, compass. So we're going left.
The torch is number 3, and it's a small key. These runners are going to grab that.
Yep, that key is certainly needed.
We're going to see 4 through 7 up here. 4 is a piece of heart. 5 is the shovel.
To bury the seed afterwards?
Probably. We got another stupid big 20. Followed by the can of burnout.
That might have been the unique item up here.
So number 8 is going to be in the double fireball room. More money. Here's all of our 300 rupees. Fire snake room will be number 9. If we could get that boomerang to fly right.
And then Taylor did go for spooky action strats. They did not work out, so he is reverting to the traditional way.
9's another small key.
And we do need those, but we're after the big one.
Randomizer room has 10, 11, 12, and 13. 10 is another piece of heart. We have 17 hearts now. Another piece of heart. 12 is more rupees. All these pieces of hearts and rupees.
And the map was number 13. So 14 being Bob's chest, and 15 through 17, the Ice Armor's chest.
Then we're going right again. Oh, he doesn't get the 1 second time save. But he gets more arrows, though.
Yeah, the more arrows do help and can offset that, but more like when you don't have the silvers. But we sort of need them for this logic.
Oh,
Did not get to the Bob chest, so we're going to have to alter our order a bit.
So now 14, 15, and 16. Jinx. Anyway. Having some issues with the ice floors. Can someone turn crowd control off? 14 small key, 15, 50 rupees. Another piece of heart at number 16. Now, Leslie Pro _ 04. Now that your jinx is off, these runners can still get to that chest from going right. It's just a little bit out of its way.
Not only is it out of the way, it would be, it would also be involving potentially having to go back for the tile room if it does come to that. So at that point, do you just go back for tile room or go back to Bob chest?
I have no clue. But depending on how this goes, this would give NinTaylor a bit of a chance to catch up. Mind you, he is still about 10 minutes behind. He still has all Swamp to do. I don't
Actually,
remember.
nope. There it is, number 17.
That's 17. And Paul the Black is today's winner. Fortunately, he's not on the leaderboard, but good job. You just have to do this another 13 or so times.
And chat points out that a Dark Magician strat would be the quickest way to the key if NinTaylor were able to decides to do that, and that would be a bit of a time save. Here we go to Gauntlet.
Yeah, no, I don't see Keon losing this at all.
I've seen some crazy stuff happen, so it really isn't over until we see that dance.
Sometimes I know us randomizer folks likes to do the metric of how many Ganon falls it will take. This is about 20 Ganon falls.
I don't know about that. There's also Agahnim still to go, and while it seems unlikely, should a death happen at Agahnim, that could be a real game changer. Although at this point in the run, I seriously doubt that that'll happen. to answer chat, that's fully understandable, as I'm not able to watch all of these or commentate on nearly as many as I'd like to because of work, but hey, that's the reality of life.
Yeah, I'm trying to do some burn strats. Didn't quite work out.
And Taylor opting to use the fire rod. Oh, almost got the 4-hit KO.
Yeah, we're about 6 rooms away from Agate 2, and SuperNinTaylor is now going to Ganon's Tower.
Hammer's not long enough to reach that switch, so the boomerang gets implied. Or rather, utilized. While Moldworm 2 can be an obnoxious enemy to go against, Kyong takes him down, no problem at all. I've seen runners get troll dormed there, and that's just an annoying 30 seconds. Pretty much. Now let's see how Kyong's geometry is in Swordless. Going for the bug net.
Oh,
Nice
that
double
double!
with a swag net. Nice.
Another double! Oh, we got too high.
Oh,
So
we missed.
That was totally commentator curse. I'm sorry. That was our fault.
Bit of a misfire there. This is not easy to do without a sword. But he got him. Nicely done. Now it's Aga 1 time.
Yeah, he was.
Don't do Aga 1, Ganon will call you a dingus.
Yeah, no. Ganon is unhearable during phase 4. Even though Ganon is able to be looked at now, more likely we're going to mirror over to Aga 1 right now from where we're at.
It's exactly what Kyong is doing, however, at 3.5 hearts has to exercise some caution. Even though silvers make this fight totally laughable. Rather this climb, but it certainly takes a lot of the challenge out of it.
Yeah, so I think it'll be kind of funny if they ever make it to where silvers can just one-shot Aga 1.
Oh my goodness, that'd be amazing.
Because technically, like, Aga 2 is really just Ganon in disguise. It makes sense for silvers to not work on Aga 2, but you know.
And Taylor getting in and out of the double fire snake room very smoothly.
Yeah, no, I mean, just unfortunate Ryan choices is what decided this run. Unfortunately, Keon was able to get to all the progression very early and very quickly.
That was basically what decided it at the end of the day, was the routing decisions. Eventually, by Keon going into Turtle Rock first, finding the
Keon
clear
also.
and the silvers.
Keon also went to desert first and got his boots, so he was able to start having a little bit of a dash lead there.
Absolutely. So that early decision, coupled with going to Turtle Rock before he wound up going elsewhere. I mean, the early Harahant really helped Keong out. Let's face it. That hit. Oh, nice item dash. Or rather, super speed with a hook shot. And Taylor takes a bonk over instead. So how many blue balls, guys? I'm saying 0. Well, I'm out already because we already got 1.
Now every 5th one is a lightning attack. We're 1 hit away from a Ganon fight. This race is going to be over in about 2 minutes if there's no Ganon falls. 2 or 3 minutes. And Keon is going to get a health refill.
Also worth noting that if our runners did not have the bug net, the hammer does work to deflect Aghanim's bolts back at Agahnim. However, it's much harder to execute that. Believe me, I've had to do that. Okay, so this setup Keon is right now works similar to the God Corner. However, it's a little bit more dangerous as you can get caught and pulled right into Ganon. Damage that you cannot avoid as NinTaylor starts his Ganon Tower climb.
So we're already in phase 3. Just gotta make sure you hit him before he jumps.
Hammer does the equivalent of Temper to Ganon. However, Hammer also only works against Ganon in this particular logic. And if I'm not mistaken, we got a Mirror Shield on NinTaylor's side, so I think that was in Bob's chest. As Keong looks to finish Ganon off. We got bacon, folks, so get your GGs in chat. As your winner, and moving on to the next round of the brackets, is Kyong92.
And he does that with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 53 minutes, and 58 seconds. Unfortunately, that means NinTaylor will be eliminated from the tournament. He's still in. I believe he's still doing good in the combo tournament. If you did like him here, you can go ahead and root him on there.
Yeah, he's been doing really well in the combo tournament. I've only been able to catch a couple of matches of that myself. But from what I've seen, that's going to be he's going to have some really good matchups. And Keong's next opponent will be Rywek, and that is going to be a very good matchup. Already looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah. NinTaylor in the combo is undefeated right now. In fact, he's actually able to play for money because he's got enough wins right now.
Yep, that's another detail for that, but it looks like Keong is ready for an interview.
Let's go ahead and get him in here.
One
GG
step ahead of
Kyong.
you. GG Kyong, we are joined by our winner, and he's moving on to the next round of the bracket. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So that was a seed with a lot of love.
Yeah, overall wasn't too bad.
So you saw the rid mail. Was there a reason why you didn't decide to just take the 2-second time to grab it?
I don't think it's really worth it, honestly. It's not like it doesn't do that much, in my opinion, at least.
Well, the way the seed turned out, the way you routed it, everything worked out perfectly. You went to Hera first and got the hint that wound up being the big difference maker about where the flute was. And you were the first one not only to go to desert to get the boots, you also dove Turtle Rock first and didn't just come up with the mirror. You also came up with those all-important silver arrows.
Yeah, you all flowed really smoothly. The whole route was pretty nice overall.
It really
that would
was.
have been the final sword upgrade.
Yep. And Taylor just found what it would have been and where it would have been, too. I think he might have been looking for health, though, as he's in a bit of a spot here.
So you're against Rywek next round. Are you feeling confident in that matchup?
Well, it's random, right? It's top
At a hover.
16 now, and you can't really say anything,
wow.
really.
Yeah, and then Taylor just skipped Troordorm too. He just trolled the Troordorm.
Yeah, but he even hit the map button by accident and still pulled it off. That's really cool.
Oh, it was a heart piece at Ped.
And now we see geometry on Taylor's side. Not so good. Got one hit there. Uh-oh, half a heart. Don't die now.
I think he still has his fairy from very early on in this game.
He sees the blue and immediately goes for the red potion. That was a good call. Saved it. Agahnometry. I'm going to have to remember that because that has a really good ring to it.
And Aga 2 is dead, so we're going to see NinTaylor go ahead and do Aga 1 as well.
One question I do have for you, Kyong, as we are awaiting NinTaylor's finish, is that knowing who you're going up against in the next round, as the hammer defeats the beam, well, the one question I have is this. Do you have any idea on what flags you're going to pick for game one?
Ooh, I'll have to think about it still. I'll probably end up doing the race after Christmas, so there's some time still, but...
So you're saying one of the flags might be festive. Come
I don't
on.
think we've had a festive flag yet in this tournament.
We need to save all the reindeer.
Sadly, I haven't played that mode yet.
It's just standard mode, except you have to get 8 crystals instead of 7. Oh, and they actually make Swamp Palace bearable. It's actually really neat what they do to Swamp Palace.
I actually saw that on someone's stream recently, and it's, yeah, that was a cool touch.
Like, I technically don't think Swamp Palace is hammerlocked now because of the changes they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really neat.
Now, something about the important stuff that I notice here for Swordless, whenever it is, instead of first sword, that thing really should say hammer, because that's the crux item of the seed. But that's just me.
That boomerang. There's some awesome strats there.
You know, I've always loved doing that as a kid. Just see the guard, throw the boomerang, and down they go. And Taylor going for hammer strats here.
Well, he didn't have that good of a time with Bugnet, so it makes sense.
This is also something worth practicing for a swordless mode, because you may have seeds where you don't have the bug net heading into Agahnim, so in that case, you have to use the hammer. There's our lightning bolt. And if you want to try and optimize an Agahnim fight, try to line up in a way to where you can knock this ball back at him and Agahnim gets knocked into the middle of the room. That's a minor optimization, but that can really help, especially when the RNG tends to not be so good. And Taylor takes lightning intentionally. Come on, Taylor, you can do this. But that's not gonna work. Oh, traded hits there. I think he's like one more hit away, as here comes the next lightning round. Bzz. There we go. Down goes Aga1, and he's spinning like crazy along with him. Here we go into the Ganon fight.
Yeah, we're going to have this fight done here in a couple minutes. And we found 18 heart pieces, and then we knew where 2 more were. Oh, 3 more now.
And Taylor's setting up for the left side version of the God Corner. As Taylor's in phase 3. And Ganon's going overboard with the teleports. SuperNinTaylor settles for the 1, gets the torch glitch.
Oh, this could be a triple. 1, 2, 3.
I thought he was about to fall off, but that was a real gutsy triple and a heck of a way to close out the fall randomizer tournament for SuperNinTaylor as he finishes up the seed with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 5 minutes, and 32 seconds. Get your GGs in chat, everybody.
Then we're also going to get in here. Say some more words. Wish everyone Merry Christmas. What races do we have coming up? While we get everything all together, it looks like Sunday in the afternoon we got a Jet 82 versus ASS. Wednesday after Christmas we got another game between Dark Rise and Correct. Oh, and GG SuperNin, how you doing today, man?
Good. How are you?
Doing all right.
GG.
Yeah.
That triple though. That triple though.
Yeah, it was a nice ending, a nice Ganon fight.
Certainly was, and with this I believe this being your first swordless seed, your thoughts on swordless overall?
I mean, it's a different experience, but I much prefer having a sword and dashing through enemies instead of having to halt my dash and then go around them and then continue my dash again.
I'm with you on that one. To me, swordless is a nice challenge every so often, but not frequently.
I mean, it's nice that I finally got a swordless end, because that means I actually got, like, every single kind of, not combination of modes, but every, like, possible kind of mode. Like, I got an expert, I got a normal, a hard, I had a swordless, a retro, so I had every single thing in the tournament, thanks to us rolling a swordless. So, got to experience everything before I'm finally out.
Now, anything about the seed do you have any like comments on?
The seed, huh? Not really.
Yeah.
I mean, it felt like it was a pretty friendly seed. I didn't route it optimally, unfortunately. But that's how rando goes.
Yep, that's rando for you. I saw the plays that you were making, and you made the Skullwoods gamble, hoping that the mirror would be there. But unfortunately, as you were making that play, is when Kyong found the mirror in Turtle Rock, and then he wound up finding the silvers. As he had gone to Hera earlier, he knew exactly where he needed to go, and that allowed him to wrap his seed up from there.
Yeah, oh well. I mean, it was fun, I guess. It's kind of a relief that I'm out now. I don't have to, like, dedicate time to scheduling and stuff.
Well,
I would have been happy to move on, but yeah.
You now just have to schedule time to go in 5-0 in the combo during the last round and getting to the top 4.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do there. It's still a pretty long road, I think. Well, not a long road, but a bumpy road. There's still some tough people out there. My next match could be against Solsky, who's also pretty good. That could go either way.
That it could. I actually called a combo rando match yesterday, and it turned out to be a good one. So yeah, it's certainly an interesting tournament to watch, folks. So if you haven't checked out the combo tournament, I highly recommend it. It's a completely different experience and a lot of fun to watch.
Well, I think that does it, unless anyone else has anything they want to say about the seed.
No, not really. Just GG, Kyong. Go kick everyone's butts so I can feel better about losing to you. That's about it.
Yes, thank you.
All right, don't forget to give these runners a follow. They gave you a really good show today. Thanks to Vince Easter for being the tracker that was helping us out today. Thanks to Leslie. You were a good co-commentator.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun, and I'd be looking forward to do it again down the road. But for tonight, it looks like we are at the end of the road for this particular seed. Well, I'm not speaking of them. We are only a few days away from Christmas, folks, so everybody, happy holidays and stay safe.
Merry Christmas, and if you don't get to hang out with me in another commentary, Happy New Year.
Absolutely. As for tonight, what's left is we've got the weekly Super Metroid race at 11 on Speed Gaming 1. This week's weekly race is any percent, so that's going to fly by.
And I do believe we got some more runs for combo. Let me bring up that schedule. I do believe. Oh, tomorrow at 12:30, we actually have two 1v1s at the same time with Dr. Bob versus Nimban. Looks like we got Zen versus Toller on Sunday as well.
Also got another combo race coming up at 10:30 a.m. So something for the early birds on the West Coast, as well as those who are up mid-morning on the East Coast, and for those around the world who want to watch some combo rando action.